Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Saturday, October 7th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with reports that CM Punk is in talks to return to WWE. Punk's return is a safe bet, according to a report from Nick Hausman coming from a source within WWE, with next month's Survivor Series Premium Live event from Chicago being the likely time and place for it. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter also reported that Punk and WWE have been negotiating his return, although a deal has not yet been finalized. Meltzer indicated that those close to Punk have confirmed Punk's intentions to return to the company, with Fightful reporting that WWE began sending out feelers last month. Punk was let go from AEW last month and has not been seen in WWE since walking out of the company in 2014. WWE presented Smackdown Live last night on Fox from the Enterprise Center in St. Louis. In the main event, LA Knight defeated Jimmy Uso by disqualification due to outside interference from Solo Sikoa. Following the match, a brawl ensued with Judgment Day coming out in support of the Bloodline, and John Cena, Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes out to support Knight. Cena had saved Knight in the opening segment when Jimmy and Sikoa attempted to jump him.
Well, again, Jimmy Uso taking charge here tonight.
And the walls beginning to close in on LA Knight.
Just 24 hours before Fastlane. Outnumbered.
Say what?
Outnumbered no more. Cena reciprocates Knight's favor from last week.
Also earlier in the show, Rhea Ripley tried to strong-arm Paul Heyman into an alliance between the Judgment Day and the Bloodline.
You're gonna acknowledge me, just like your former boy, Jey Uso, acknowledged me on Monday Night Raw. Otherwise, we're gonna find out who's stronger. The Judgment Day or the Bloodline. Now, you're authorized to go make your little phone call.
In the opening match of the show, the team of Asuka and Charlotte Flair defeated Bayley and Io Sky of Damage Control when Flair pinned Bayley. In other results, Bobby Lashley pinned Rey Mysterio, leading to the Street Profits brawling with the LWO, and Dragon Lee pinned Austin Theory. Interference by Grayson Waller on behalf of Theory was neutralized by Cameron Grimes. AEW presented Rampage last night on TNT, featuring matches taped last Wednesday night at the Stockton Arena in Stockton, California. In the main event, Commander won a four-way match against Johnny TV, Lince Dorado, and Pentel Zero Miedo to become the number one contender to the Ring of Honor World title currently held by Eddie Kingston. In other results, the Hardys and Best Friends defeated Daniel Garcia, Jake Hager, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker, and TBS champion Chris Statlander teamed with Hikaru Shida to defeat Marina Shafir and Nyla Rose. In corporate news, WWE's Executive Vice President of Human Resources, Suzette Ramirez-Carr, is expected to be departing the company on November 3rd, according to an all-staff email sent out yesterday by WWE President Nick Khan. Ramirez-Carr has been with WWE since April of 2022. Her announced departure is the latest to follow WWE's acquisition by Endeavor last month. And taking a look at merchandise sales, LA Knight topped the list of WWE merchandise sellers for the month of September, ahead even of WWE branded merchandise, which came in second, according to a report from WrestleNomics. Other top merch movers for WWE in order included John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Steve Austin, Rhea Ripley, Bray Wyatt, Jey Uso, the NWO, and Roman Reigns. Meanwhile, in AEW, while company-branded merchandise topped the list of earners for September, the top talent on the list was CM Punk, who has not been with the company since September 2nd. Other top AEW merch movers were in order: Orange Cassidy, Better Than You Baby, Bullet Club Gold, MJF, The Acclaim, Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, and the Blackpool Combat Club. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.